Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Um, I'm not really good at these laid back and relaxed videos, but we're gonna try, right? We're gonna try. I got some notes here because this is a big one. This is how do we support the youth in collecting, and I figured this is an important one to do, and I kind of broke it down on who, where, when, why, and how, and then I'll just give some information at the end. So, who? Young collectors, new collectors. We don't have a ton of youth in the hobby. We all know this. A lot of these guys are getting older, including myself. And there's four somewhere in my age now. Uh, so bringing in the younger collectors are important for many reasons, which I'll get into later in the video. Now, where can we support younger collectors? We can support younger collectors, national or local meets, or independent meets, and out in the wild per se. Um, we can help them get to such events. We can do funding to get them there. We can help them. Uh, this is going to be a little bit more difficult for some. We can also support them in their local communities, taking them like plate hunting or the junkyard to do plates. That stuff gets a little bit trickier, and that has to deal with probably age differences. There might be an issue just with me in general because, I'm getting older. I don't have kids. I'm not a dad, so I don't really have those dad skills like some of the other collectors have who have kids who they know the routine, and I don't. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to be a dad. I'm just not at this current point in my life. Uh, when? Well, now, or as soon as we can. I know it's difficult, especially times are tough, financials are tough. And I say that in general with the economy, jobs, and I think my generation does not have the spending power as some of the older generations. And the younger generations are walking into a disaster. I'm not sure as bad of a disaster as we did in '08 when we were coming out of college or when we were in high school with 9/11. But they're walking in similar shoes. Because I know I'm not accessible as some of the older boomer generation has been in Gen X, with opportunities and employment and pensions, which when I started working full time, they yanked our pension and all that. For the good old enhanced 401k that crashes every so often. But I digress. Um, why? Why should we support the youth and new collectors? One, we need to save the hobby. If we don't, we're gonna look like what happened with baseball cards, right? They were a flourishing hobby, and then now you can't even sell them for 50 cents. New blood in the hobby, new faces, new experiences. It's all very important and very new niches. Look at Gideon. He's really into the heavy truck plates, which a lot of our older generation collectors, including myself, have not really been into the heavy trucks. We collect them. We're looking, but he's deep diving, researching into a depth of level that no one else has before, and it's wonderful. So how? Money, rides, plates, advice. So a lot of things involve money around in hobbies and such like that because there's travel, there's lodging, there's food, and there's the cost of our hobby, plates, getting into the meets and stuff like that. So that's somewhere we can always help in that journey. Um, some people aren't really comfortable with giving rides, especially with people you don't know. I understand that. Um, Plates, like I do try to give out plates when I can. I have a small stash that I've gotten for relatively reasonable, and I kind of save those for giveaways and stuff like that. Sorry, guys. And advice in general. hopefully with the YouTube channel and Facebook and the other social medias I run, there's hopefully some good advice floating out there to help these younger collectors. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to call. We have a little that is been collecting for a bit. Um, like bike plates for where they were born. The typical I don't want to say little girl stuff. But I would generally call that the little girls, like the graphics, the butterflies, the horses, and stuff like that. Um, and don't get me wrong, boy collectors, girl collectors probably do collect the kind of the same shiny, pretty kind of things early on. Um, Actually, I don't. I kind of collected all over the board when I was little, so you know. Um, but I've given them a plate for free. That's kind of high dollar graphic because you know it's the right thing to do. Two, yeah, it's gonna cost my bottom line, but to support the youth is pretty good. And I've done it at Ola. Kids wanted something, and I kind of wait until no one's around and say, okay, here, you can have this. One, I try not to make it a big habit because, well, it's expensive. Bottom line. And I hate to say that. It's just I don't have infinite resources. As you can see with the fundraising I do and now the Patreon and stuff like that. I try to watch budgets and stuff like that so I can function, basically. Um, but we've had younger collectors in the past where I've tried to support them, taking them to the meets, paying for their food, paying for their lodging. It was going good, but not great. Thankfully, we have another younger. Sorry, guys. Another younger collector that is now helping that collector, and I think something I definitely don't understand, but I probably need to understand is I'm at the point in my life where it's maybe harder for those young collectors to look up and say, I can do this. I can fill those shoes. Um, I always feel that anyone can um, be follow my footsteps of what stuff I've done and end up where I am at today. I don't know if that's true, but I believe they can. But I don't want to be an out of touch older adult that doesn't see that there's struggles to do that kind of stuff. I started out as a poor kid living in a trailer. I do have a pretty good life, right? It's not perfect. My 9 to 5 is probably not paying me as much as I should, and definitely I'm not getting the benefits I need for when I retire, but that's a different video, right? A lot of things I can do is instead of going directly down to that collector who needs the help and mentor them, I can then help someone who's maybe a little bit older to do that mentoring for me. There's a situation, I don't want to say situation, uh, there is a fantastic younger collector who is mentoring that kid who I used to, and he's doing a better job than I ever could. I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of both of them. I think between social habits, communication, and just his mood, I think he's a lot happier. Um, and this younger collector has taken this other younger collector out plate hunting, junkyards, it just meats and stuff like that, where it's amazing. It's amazing what he is doing for this younger collector, and I think the those two can look and build on to not only a great friendship, but definitely there's great mentoring going on, which I'm really proud of them. So we should really support that kind of stuff the best we can. And I know Mo is doing a great job himself trying to get that. And I'm really proud of Mo too, doing that stuff. Because I know it's not an easy thing to get young blood into, even new faces into the hobby. I've been doing it a lot over the years, but I think I have it's probably the tism where I'm just like, follow me to the happiness, and people come. We have a lot of people who have met over the years that they never would have gone into collecting, or they got serious into collecting after meeting me and doing the stuff I do. Even one guy, uh, he ended up meeting me in kind of weird transition. We were trying to sell the condo. This was when I first got married. We were selling my condo I had bought when I was single. We were in a rental condo that had absolutely no space. And instead of being like a normal person and putting the collection in a storage unit, it was in the living room of the rental. Everything in boxes. Taller than me. It was just boxes, all my blue bins. You probably thought I was crazy. Really thought I was crazy. But he's a wonderful collector. He collects some really, really cool stuff. And I admire him to have such a small collection. And if he gets something in, he sells something else. He's just that kind of collector. I've met other collectors along the way who are either not very serious or just kind of had a couple plates on the wall. And now they have a beautiful, amazing collection. So yeah. So I think we're doing okay, but I think we can do better. And I think at this point, I need help in recruiting younger members and such because I'm in a weird position in life. I'm older without kids yet, and I don't have the tools in my toolbox as some of the other guys who have kids, know all the process, knows how to really connect with them. Because I might just be at that age where it's just a little bit harder, and I'm not good at stepping back and looking at what I've done. I think that's another big thing that I'm having troubles with these days. Is I'm in my mind, I'm still that young collector who's scraping the bottom of like pulling the couch cushions out to get the 50 cents to buy plates. And yeah, I'm still pulling the couch cushions to find the 50 cents, but I have accomplished so much in the years with the museum and being on the front page of a newspaper and getting attention. And yeah, I'm not Mr. Beast. I'm not, a huge thing. Even in our hobby, we have people who are bigger than me, of course. But also, I think bottom line, their net worth is probably 10 times greater than mine, probably more. But besides that, uh, we just need to come together as a community to keep building this. And eventually, I know I will age out of the hobby and not be able to do this anymore. So we definitely need to make sure we're investing in our youth. So, anyway, questions, concerns, leave them in the comments. If you want to support younger collectors, I know Dairyland has a fund that they're doing. The museum, of course, does stuff too. So yeah, please come help. We appreciate it. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.